ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into part 1 of the series What If Izuku Was Trained by an OP Alien from Dragon Ball. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Izuku Midoriya. You know the story, not all men are created equal blah blah blah. But what if the sludge villain attacked someone else? Izuku Midoriya has had probably the worst day in a while. His journal was burned. He was attacked by a villain, and now All Might, the #1 hero, didn't believe in him. How can this day get any war dash? When he saw who the sludge villain again, how I thought All Might stopped him and the villain was holding hostage, it was a small blue man. It looks like they've met their match. Plus, the villain captured some blue guy. Things aren't looking good for him, sad multiple bystanders. Why isn't All Might doing anything? Wait. He can't power up yet. And none of the other heroes have the quirks to stop the sludge monster. It's my fault. I'm sorry. So sorry. All Might help will show up and save the day. I'm sure someone, a hero, will come soon. If he dies, it's all my fault. If I could do something. Wait. My legs, they are moving on their own. Izuku ran towards the villain, a thing that none of the heroes there done, just watching the man die. No, you idiot. Stop. You're gonna get yourself harmed, or even die, said multiple heroes, worrying for the boy. What am I doing? Why am I running? Why can't I stop? Midoriya asked himself. Midoriya was in front of the villain, trying his all to save the blue man. That's it, I have had enough, said the sludge villain, clearly pissed at the green-haired boy. Izuku thought it was all over, his life and hopes, until he appeared. All Might. I really am pathetic. Everyone is always testing themselves, throwing themselves into danger for the greater good. That is the sign of a true hero, All Might yelled with enthusiasm, getting ready to use his signature attack. Detroit Smash. All Might punched the sludge villain with such power that it changed the weather. Afterwards, after being scolded by some people for being so reckless, walked home and even met Bakugo. Saw you down there helping that blue guy. Stop trying to be a hero. You were just getting in All Might's way. Got it, Deku? Bakugo yelled at Izuku and quickly left. Izuku was confused by Bakugo's sudden appearance. Suddenly, the blue man from the sludge villain incident suddenly appeared. Wah, you just came out of nowhere. Is that your quirk? Izuku said, shocked by the small blue man. Greetings, I am Pabara from the planet of Yardrat. I came to this planet to examine human culture. I gotta say, I'm impressed with Earth, especially the heroes. But most importantly, I have come to thank you for helping me against the villain. The Yardrat introduced himself. Wait, you're an alien? They exist? But why come to me? I got in the way of All Might. Why me? Izuku was extremely shocked by the existence of aliens. Well, you did save me when others just sat there. Now, let me offer you something, young Midoriya. Izuku answered. Well, Midoriya, how would you like to train under me on my home planet? As thank you for saving me, Pabara said. What? I said I would like to train you on my home planet, Pabara repeated. Yes, I know that, but training on another planet? I need to ask my mom about this. I can't just go to space without giving her a heart attack. And also, I need to go to school. Izuku explained. Ah, I see. I can teleport you quickly from Earth to Yardrat instantly using my technique. So no worries, the blue Yardrat understood. So it's not a quirk? It's something you can learn? Said an interested Izuku. Indeed. Within months, you should be able to learn spirit control, especially with such determination as yours. Mom? Izuku asked with care in his voice. Yes, Izuku? What is it? Oh, who is that? Inko wondered, noticing the small blue Yardrat. He's Pabara. He is going to train me, so I can live up to my dream of becoming a hero, Izuku said nervously. Yes, miss, you boy has incredible potential. Even without a quirk, he will be a great hero, Pabara stated. Sure, Izuku, if this man truly is going to help you become a hero and go to UA, then I will support you. Just please be careful, said Inko with tears in her eyes. Then Izuku began his training with Pabara. Are you ready, Midoriya? Pabara asked. Yep, I should have everything, said Izuku, carrying his signature yellow backpack. Now hold on to my shoulder, Pabara asked. Okay, now what? Before Izuku could finish, he was teleported to Yardrat. Now Izuku saw a pink sky and weird-looking buildings. Whoa, This is Yardrat, huh? It's so strange, Izuku said, taking in the new world. It's a good thing this planet has oxygen, because he would be suffocating right now. Indeed, now your first lesson will be in ki control, Pabara told. Ki? Izuku asked. It's a thing that exists in every being, so we will be teaching you how to control your ki first, Pabara answered. The next month, Izuku was educated in ki control, learning how to sense and even discover how to use ki blast, although it is extremely draining on Izuku's body, who was fairly skinny and not used to such power. For the next 4 months, he learned instant transmission, where he could teleport himself and others to places and people, which led to an awkward meeting to say the least. Mitsuki Bakugo was making dinner until she heard, "What the foo? Deku, get the hell out of my house." Katsuki screamed, "Sorry." The quiet voice of what seemed to be Izuku said before disappearing. Then it hit Bakugo. Deku has a quirk? Has he be hiding it from him? Does he think he is better than him? It's just some shitty teleportation quirk anyway. I'm the next one hashtag after all. After that awkward meeting, Izuku had learned to use instant transmission better. For the next 5 months, he learned various other techniques such as growth, where he can increase the size of himself, cloning technique, where he learned to clone himself up to 3 times. Izuku had arrived at the gates of UA for the entrance exam, wearing Yardrat armor to honor his teacher for teaching his techniques to him. With this power, he is going to achieve his dreams. He even spoke to a cute girl, probably the first girls his age he has spoken to in years. He has to go through 2 tests, the written exam and physical exam. The written exam is to test the person's intelligence, while the physical test is to gain points in a simulated city. Izuku was confident he passed the written exam, but the physical exam would be tough. Although Izuku was stressed by the exam, he remembered Pabara's teachings to focus and don't let anything else get in the way. Even a blue-haired boy noticed his calmness and respected his calmness. He was focused, not even paying attention to the world around him well, except pro-hero present Mike informing the examinees, which caught Izuku off guard. As it says in the application requirements, you listeners will be conducting 10-minute mock urban battles after this. 3 different types of foe villains are stationed in each battle center. You earn points for each of them based on their level of difficulty. Your goal, dear listeners, is to use your quirks to earn points by immobilizing the foe villains, the pro-hero said. 1 point was for beating easy difficulty villains. 2 points was for beating medium difficulty villains. 3 points for beating hard difficulty villains. Right, let's start. Present Mike began the exam, catching everyone off guard with the lack of countdown. Get moving. There are no countdowns in real battles. Run, run, run. Listeners, you're wasting precious airtime here. Present Mike informed the students, with everyone except Izuku running. Oh no. Izuku yelled in panic, putting his fingers on his forehead to find a target. The brunette from earlier, yes. He teleported in front of her, shocking the girl. You're the clumsy guy from earlier. The brown-haired examinee said. Yeah, thanks for the help. Izuku waved while running to the direction of the fake city to fight some robots. He was now in front of a robot. Target acquired. Commencing attack, said the one-pointer. Izuku smirked at the charging robot and uses his cloning technique to split himself in half, completely dodging the robot crashing to the floor. Izuku's clone fused back together with him and finished the robot with a ki blast, gaining his first point of the entrance exam. Time passed, and Izuku had managed to get himself some points, but Izuku never felt like he could relax. He still might fail. Then suddenly the whole area began shaking as a huge robot appeared, completely overshadowing the rest of the city with its sheer size, and everyone started to run away, with Izuku following the crowd. When making one final look at the giant, he saw the girl. He can't just leave her to die. Izuku used instant transmission to quickly get to her. Quick, grab my hand, said Izuku in a tense voice. She listened, but wasn't prepared to be teleported out of the rubble and near a boy with glasses. The entrance exam had finished. Thank you. You saved my butt back there, but geez, my leg is pretty hurt, the girl thanked Izuku. Thanks, I owed you one for earlier. Oh, and hold on, Izuku said, putting his hands forward, focusing intensely, suddenly healing her injuries. They're healed. But I thought teleportation was your quirk, the girl asked. Oh, I have a quirk called spirit control. By shifting, splitting, and growing the spirit, Izuku explained his quirk. Tenya Ida examined Izuku and the brunette, amazed by the green hair boy bravery and his amazing quirk. You have amazing braveness. You have shown amazing potential to be a great hero. Ida entered the conversation. Apologies, how rude of me to not introduce myself. Tinya Ida, hoping to enter the hero course, Ida said, throwing his hand like a robot. Izuku Midoriya. Ochako Uraraka. The three introduced themselves. Izuku seeming to gain new friends even before he even got into UA. Izuku liked this new start compared to his middle school years already, and he wasn't even sure he is in yet. Izuku returned home from his long day trying to relax a bit, and his techniques drained a lot from him today, but at least he got Ida and Uraraka's contacts. He has a girl's number. Izuku blushed at the thought of it. He may have met stranger stuff like literal aliens, but talking to girls is on another level for him. Time passed, and finally a letter came. Izuku, it finally came. Inko Midoriya said with a letter in her hands. Izuku held the letter and managed to get the letter open with a strange item on the desk, which suddenly revealed All Might as a hologram. I am here as a projection, All Might said. All Might? This is from UA, right? Izuku said, surprised that All Might was in a UA projection. Actually, I came to this town to work at UA. All Might informed him as a projection. Izuku couldn't believe it. All Might himself is going to work as a teacher. Will All Might be his teacher? Congratulations, young Midoriya, you have passed the written exam and the practical exam, gaining 62 villain points and 0 rescue points with a healthy 6th place. Well done, kid. You passed. Come, young Midoriya, this is your hero academia, All Might said proudly. Izuku cried, not of sadness, but of joy. After years of mental abuse from his classmate, he proved them wrong as he passed the UA entrance exams. Izuku thanked his mother, All Might, and Pabara-sensei for giving him a chance as a hero. Izuku put on his UA uniform and yellow backpack, ready to head to UA for the actual first time. All right, Mom, I'm leaving for UA. Izuku said goodbye to his mother. Izuku made some distance between him and his house before running into an alleyway and using instant transmission to Uraraka or Ida's key and found Ida. So he teleported to his location. Ida was already near UA. As a student of UA, he had to set an example for the school and his own family's reputation by coming to UA extra earlier than anyone else. Hi, Ida. He was caught off guard by Izuku suddenly being right behind Ida, which did scare him for a second. Greetings, Midoriya. You caught me off guard. I should be more aware of my surroundings as a future hero. Ida greeted Izuku. No, it's fine, Ida. While we are already near you, even 25 minutes before class starts, Izuku said. Yes, as we need to set an example for the rest of our class. Also, Midoriya, what class are you in? Ida wondered. 1AU? 1A2, it's an honor to be in the same class as you, Midoriya, Ida said, proud of Izuku. Yeah, you too, Izuku said, awkwardly, clearly weirded out by Ida's praise. Izuku and Ida appeared in front of Class 1A with Ida giving the directions there. Izuku and Ida had time to set up and find their seats. Everything seemed quiet till Bakugo showed up and put his feet up on his desk without a care in the world, but this clearly upset Ida, who walked up to Bakugo. Izuku panicked at the thought of Ida talking to Bakugo, but maybe Bakugo has calmed down since he is at UA. But the condition his UA uniform isn't says otherwise. It's the first day, and you're already disrespecting this academy by scuffing school property, you cretin. Ida told Bakugo off like he was the teacher himself. You're kidding me, right? Did your old school put a big stick up your rear? Bakugo said as angrily as always. Okay, let's start this over. It's clear we started off on the wrong foot. I'm Tinya Ida from the Semi-Private Academy. It's nice to meet you, Ida greeted the blondie. Semi-Private Academy, huh? So you must think you're better than me because you went to some fancy private school. I'm gonna have fun tearing you a new one throughout this year. Bakugo mocked Ida. You would threaten me? Your own classmate? Are you sure you're in the right place and not you? Ida felt offended, but Izuku walked in between them. Okay, everyone calmed down. Izuku tried to ease the tension. You, Bakugo said with a glare. Oh no, where have you been hiding that quirk of yours all this time? Bakugo interrogated Izuku. And my quirk just manifested at the time. That's why I accidentally teleported to your house, Izuku said, trying to convince Bakugo. What else was he going to say? Oh hey, Kanchan, I just learned some techniques from an alien planet. That would be much harder to convince someone than that. Bakugo only stared back with disgust. Did this nerd think he was too good to show off his quirk? He'll show Deku that he is too pathetic for UA. Shortly afterwards, Izuku met Uraraka again, blushing at how nice she looks in the UA uniform. Then a caterpillar walked it. No, that ain't no caterpillar, that's a person. If you're just here to make friends, then you can pack up your stuff now, said the man in a bored tone. Welcome to UA's hero course. It took 8 seconds before you all shut up. That's not going to work. Time is precious. Rational students would understand that by now. The man came out of his sleeping bag. Hello, I'm Shota Aizawa. Your teacher, Mr. Aizawa, introduced himself. Right now, let's get to it. Put these on and head outside. Aizawa shocked some students. What? A quirk assessment test? Said the entire class. But the orientation. We're going to miss it, Mr. Aizawa. Uraraka asked, wondering why Mr. Aizawa will skip the orientation. If you really want to make the big leagues, you can't waste time on pointless ceremonies. Here at U.A, we're not tethered to traditions. That means I get to run my class however I see fit. You've been taking standardized tests all your life, but you never got to use your quirks in physical exams before. Everyone is still trying to pretend we're all created equal by not letting those with the most power excel. It's not rational. One day, the Ministry of Education will learn. Aizawa told the class who is in charge around here, not them. Fast forward, and everyone was outside in their UA sport uniforms. Bakugo, you managed to get the most points on the entrance exam. What was your farthest distance throw with a softball when you were in junior high? Aizawa said to the angry blonde student. 67 meters, I think, Bakugo told Aizawa. Great. Now try doing it with your quirk. Anything goes, just stay inside the circle. Go on, you're wasting precious time for everyone, Aizawa explained. All right, men, you asked for it. Bakugo used all his power into the ball. 705 meters. Whoa, 705 meters, are you kidding me? Asked Denki Kaminari. I want to go, that looks like fun. The acid quirk user Mina Ashido said with excitement. So this looks fun, huh? You have 3 years to become a hero. You think it's going to be all games and playtime? You idiots. Today, you'll compete in 8 physical tests to determine your potential as a hero. Whoever comes in last has none and will be expelled from UA, so we don't have time for people who lack potential, Aizawa said harshly. Some protected, but Aizawa responded as harshly as last time. Oh, and you think natural disasters are then? Or power-hungry villains? Or catastrophic accidents that wipe out whole cities? No, the world is full of unfairness. It's a hero's job to try and combat that unfairness. If you want to be a hero, you've got to push yourself to the brink. For the next 3 years, UA will throw one terrible hardship after another at you. So go beyond, plus ultra style. Give me an excuse for me to not expel you. Now then, we're wasting time by talking. Let the games begin. Aizawa responded with full force. Izuku had scored fairly above average in most of the test, using his training to his advantage. Now he made it to the ball throw. It was Izuku's turn. As long as he stays in the circle. Izuku threw the ball, and when it seemed to hit its peak, something appeared in the sky. It was Izuku. No, Izuku was still in the line. It was Izuku's clone who threw the ball up again alongside a key blast, along with it gaining an impressive score. An impressive 706.1. Of course, Bakugo was angry at Deku beating him in the ball test, with Aizawa revealing himself as the underground hero Eraserhead to restrain Bakugo by using his bandages. Izuku had placed 16th place, not compared to Yaoyorozu, Todoroki, or Bakugo, but a good start for someone who was quirkless just 10 months ago. But it wants so good for a short purple kid named Mineta. Poor guy. By the way, I was lying about the expulsion. It was a rational deception to draw out the upper limits of your quirks, Aizawa explained, making Mineta relax, and everyone else shocked. What? Most of the class said in unison. Of course that was a lie. It should have been obvious if you just thought it through. Yaoyorozu said. Afterwards, Izuku, Ochako, and Tinya were at the train station together talking about the day. During their conversations, Uraraka brought up why Bakugo calls Izuku Deku, with Izuku explaining the meaning of it, but Uraraka thought otherwise. Sorry, but it sounds like the Japanese word for you can do it. It's kinda cute, Uraraka said with enthusiasm. Izuku was a blushing mess once again, but also inspired, finding a new meaning in it. AM coming through the door like a normal person. All Might entered completely normal way. The rest of Class 1A gasped at the sight of All Might. It's All Might, Kaminari said. Wow, it's true. He really is a teacher, said a surprised Kirishima. That's a costume from the Silver Age, isn't it? Ajui said. Its style is so different, it's giving me goosebumps, said Ojiro. I teach hero basic training. It is a subject where you train in different ways to learn the basics of being a hero. You'll take the most units of this subject. Let's get right into it. This is what we'll do today: combat training. All Might explained with his signature attitude. And to go with that are these costumes made based on your Quirk registrations and requests you sent in before school started. All Might explained with the class happy to finally test on some hero costumes. After you change, gather in ground beta. All Might told his students. Yes, sir. The entire class said in unison. Izuku took inspiration from the clothes he wore under his master Pabara, but the armor on his chest had a green tint to it, and his pants were black and less baggy than before. Izuku had appeared on the training ground with a pleasant greeting by the others. They say the clothes make the man, young men and ladies. Be fully aware from now on you are heroes. That's great, everyone. You all look cool. Now, shall we begin, you zygotes? All Might appreciated the heroes of the future. It turns out they were doing fights against each other, with one group being the heroes while one being the villains. The heroes had to stop the bomb, while the villains had to prevent the heroes from deactivating it with the heroes on a time limit. Each student was split into groups of 2, with Izuku being with his best friend Ochako Uraraka. And against Okatsuki Bakugo and Tenya Ida, this was going to be interesting to say the least. Now, let's start the indoor person-to-person combat training with Team A and Team D. All Might began the test. Uraraka, is it okay if you deal with Ida? I should be able to buy some time for you, Izuku asked. Yes, sure, Uraraka said. Uraraka grabbed onto Izuku, and they teleported over to where Ida was. What the? Those heroes are ruining our plan. Ida acted, trying to get into the role of villain. Oh, if it isn't Deku. I was going to look for you, but since you're already here, why not just start now? Bakugo said with a grin on his face, charging right at Izuku. With an explosion ready, Izuku countered by charging a ki blast with both ball of energy, exploding in each other's face, with Izuku pushing Bakugo out of the area where Uraraka and Ida are. Bakugo tries to attack Izuku, but he keeps on missing due to Izuku using instant transmission to teleport around him. Stop running like a coward, Deku. Come and face me like a man, Bakugo said angrily. Well, you are going to fight me, just not one of me, Izuku said, duplicating himself into 5, charging at Bakugo, which is extremely effective due to the clones' incredible teamwork. They are beating Bakugo, not giving him the chance to use his explosions. One of Izuku's clones turns giant and grabs Bakugo in place, unable to get out of the clone's tight grip. The original Izuku used this to help Uraraka, instant transitioning to Ida, delivering a punch to the face. Uraraka now. Izuku yelled, holding on to Ida as Uraraka held onto the bomb with Team A coming out victories. The clone holding Bakugo disappeared, causing Bakugo to fall onto the floor. I lost to Deku. Bakugo tried to think of what just happened. Izuku simply toyed with him like one of his All Might action figures. Izuku lied on the floor, tired after using so much ki against Bakugo. Deku-kun, are you okay? Uraraka asked. Yeah, just really drained. Also sorry for the cheap shot, Ida, Izuku said back. No problem, Midoriya. Cheap shot or not, it was for a good cause. Ida broke his villain act. Bakugo had to go to recovery for some slight damage to his bones after the giant Izuku clone had a tight grip of him, and Izuku didn't really need to go to recovery, girl, thinking he would regain his ki throughout the day. Anyone notice that Bakugo hasn't come back yet? Kirishima wonders. Alf, Midoriya, did you break his ribs or something? Kaminari asked Midoriya. No, I didn't do anything that bad. He must be somewhere else, Izuku said, while putting 2 fingers on his head to try and sense Bakugo's ki. Found him, he's just left UA grounds. Izuku says out loud. Wait, you're not gonna. Oh, and he's gone before Kirishima could ask. Izuku was already gone. Meanwhile, stupid Deku, thinking he's better than me, Bakugo said before Izuku appeared, causing Bakugo to jump. What the DKU? Bakugo yelled at Izuku. Kaken, why are you leaving so early? Izuku questioned with concern in his voice. Better question. Where were you hiding this quirk for this entire decade? Bakugo ignores the question. It just manifested after the sludge incident. Remember when I accidentally teleported into your room? Izuku tries to convince Bakugo. I don't believe it. You can't just understand and do all that stuff in just 10 months. You've been hiding this from me since we were kids, thinking you were too good to show me. Bakugo responded. Kaken, I don't look down on you. You are truly amazing and I admire your courage and power. All I ever wanted was to be friends with you. Izuku told Bakugo the truth. Just remember this, Deku. When we fight next time, I'm going to win. Bakugo said, filled with determination. Izuku only smiled back as he saw Bakugo leave, hoping that one day they could call each other friends again like old times. Some time passed since Izuku talked to Bakugo, and Aizawa had put a huge task for Class 1A, choosing a class representative. Since it is Class 1A, of course this turned chaotic. Okay class, today you need to elect a representative. The representative title is a chance for you to gain extra recognition at UA. Aizawa told the class, do it anyway. As long as you have elected your people, and it doesn't bother me, Aizawa finished. Pick me. I want to be representative. Me too. He'll do it. I will do it best. The class turned into a bunch of loud mumbles until Ida got the idea of a fair and democratic vote, and when the votes were in, Izuku was surprised to say the least when the results were in. Izuku Midoriya first and Yaoyorozu Momo second, making Izuku the class rep and Yaoyorozu as vice rep. The lesson was over, and now it was break for the class. I don't know that I can handle being class rep for the whole class, Izuku worried. Don't doubt yourself, Midoriya. I have full belief that you are the best suited for the role of class representative, Ida reassured him. Oh, thanks, Ida. By the way, Ida, why are you so formal? Izuku wondered about Ida's strictness ever since the entrance exam. Well, yes, I'm a part of Ida family, and I fears it will change how others view me and my brother, Ingenium, Ida admitted. Brother of Ingenium? Wow, that must be tough living up to the reputation such a great pro-hero Izuku complimented Ida's brother. Then suddenly the alarm started ringing, meaning someone had infiltrated UA. Was it a villain? Unsurprisingly, everyone panicked. Ida had noticed that it was just the media, but Ida couldn't gain the attention of the students. Then Izuku quickly thought of an idea, using his quirk. Izuku cloned himself, and that clone used the gigantification technique to block the exit and also give the original Izuku a lift up the top of the exit. Everyone, it's just the media. Can we calm down, please? Izuku stuttered at talking to such a large group of people. Everyone calmed down and returned to class later on when the break was over. Izuku was more confident in being the class representative. Maybe Ida was right. When Class 1A returned, they were surprised to hear that they were going to the unforeseen simulation joint to test themselves and their quirks in dangerous environments. When they arrived at UA, they were greeted by Pro Hero 13. I can't wait to show you what's inside, 13 said. After an explanation from 13 about her quirk and the class task in the USJ, a portal appeared. Has the exercise already started? Kirishima asked his teacher. 13. Protect the students. Stay back. This is real. Those are actual villains. Eraserhead told the class. What? Real villains? There's no way. How could so many of them get into a UA facility this secure? They must have a quirk like Midoriya or something, Kirishima wondered. 13. Get them out of here and alert the main campus. Aizawa went to fight the villains. 13 and the students went to go and leave the USJ, but were blocked by a purple-flamed villain who proceeded to throw all of the students into different parts of the USJ, with Midoriya landing in the water, being grabbed by Tsu, and also seeing Mineta. Azui, it's great to see you. Now it's time to regroup the class. Grab onto me, everyone. Izuku put his 2 fingers on his forehead, locating 13. Tsu and Mineta grabbed onto Izuku and teleported to 13, but finding 13 being sucked into her own black hole by the purple flame villain Kirojiri after trying to give Ida enough time to escape the USJ and get help. Izuku used instant transmission to teleport 13 out of her own black hole. 13, are you okay? Izuku asked 13. Yeah, I'm fine, go and help your friends, 13 told Izuku. Uraraka, what are we trying to do? Izuku talked to Uraraka while they are trying to fight Kirojiri. We need to hold off the villain so Ida can go and get help, Uraraka explained to Izuku. If only I could hold him so Ida could. Izuku then remembered the fight against Bakugo and instantly teleported to Kirojiri, putting him in a full Nelson, while Izuku then grew in size using his gigantification technique, grabbing Kirojiri like a toy, stopping him from teleported. Did he just remember he could do that? Siro asked. Midoriya is an idiot, Ishido said jokingly. Hey Siro, mind giving me some tape? Izuku asked Siro. Oh yeah, sure. Siro wrapped Kirojiri in his tape, giving Izuku the force and speed to swing Kirojiri out of the USJ, breaking the glass on top of the building. Then Izuku went back to normal size. Okay, I'm going to go and help everyone else. Izuku teleported away to help his classmate. Midoriya first senses the strongest key signatures out of the students, being Bakugo and Kirishima. Yo Midoriya, Glad to see you're alive. You come to help, Kirishima asked just after beating a villain. Well, kinda am teleporting everyone to the entrance. I dealt with the guy that spread everyone across the building, Izuku told Kirishima. Wow, Izuku, that's manly of you to do that. Kirishima complimented Izuku. It's no problem. Izuku tries to brush it off. Then Izuku senses something coming towards them, but he can't see it. Bakugo then just grabs the invisible villain, causing it to decloak. Wow, thanks, Kakin, Izuku said happily, while Bakugo ignores the compliment. Just take me to the entrance, Bakugo said as him and Kirishima grab onto Izuku as he teleports them to the entrance. Then Izuku travels to meet Todoroki, interrogating the villains. Are you done? Izuku asked to Todoroki. Yes, they don't have any more. Useful information anyway, Todoroki said, without emotion, putting his hand on Izuku's shoulder and meeting the others at the entrance. Izuku meets Jiro, Yaoyorozu, and Kaminari, but covers his eyes when realizing Yaoyorozu's costume is torn, and Jiro calls Izuku a perv. They all go to the entrance. After Izuku had finished collecting his classmate, but Mr. Aizawa's ki was draining rapidly, making Izuku go and see the problem. Mr. A's, oh god, Mr. Aizawa. Izuku saw his teacher being ragdolled by a monster in a pool of his own vital fluid. Izuku quickly goes in and steals Aizawa from the villains, taking him to 13, with Izuku using some of his healing abilities to put Aizawa in stable condition. Izuku came back to hold off the villains. Oh, it's one of those students. Explain what happened to Kurojiiri. Shigaraki said angrily. I took care of your villain friend. Since Mr. Aizawa is out of commission, then that means the class rep has to take responsibility for everyone's safety. Izuku said. I'll look a kid playing hero, Nomu to live him. Shigaraki mocked Izuku. Oh no, Izuku barely dodged the Noma, shocked at its speed, but its ki feels like there is many people in the Noma's body. It's like what Pabara-sensei said about fusions. Flashback. This is Force Spirit Fission, a technique. It allows the user to separate and manipulate energy from their target, granting them the ability to do things such as undo fusions and absorptions. This is a very advanced technique. Are you sure you want to do this instead of focusing on mastering something else? Pabara. Yes, the more techniques I learn, the better. Please teach me it, Pabara-sensei. Izuku said with determination. Izuku was forced on the defensive, realizing if he gets hit once, he is down for the count. So it's a battle between who can get the first hit in. Izuku cloned himself for X and all used gigantification to grab and hold the Nomu in its arms and legs. The original Izuku charged in and delivered a gut punch to the beast. Hey, you think a little punch like yours will defeat my Nomu? Shigaraki mocked Izuku again. No, but this will. Forced Spirit Fission. Izuku yelled. Forced what now? Shigaraki said before witnessing the destruction of the Nomu. Performing Spirit Fission on the Nomu causes the Nomu to deform. All the people who were made to create the Nomu appear. I won. Izuku said, collapsing to the floor exhausted. He was shocked at his victory. That Nomu was comparable, no surpasses All Might current power. Deku-kun, are you alright? Where is the villain? Uraraka came with a few other students to see if Izuku is alright. I took care of it, Izuku asked his frog friend. Then the students noticed Shigaraki. Damn it, how can a new year beat the Noma Mentio? Take out the number 1 hero, not some first year with cheats. Shigaraki has a tantrum, and then looked to see a cloud of smoke appear at the entrance. It's fine now, I am here. All Might appeared with an angry expression. It's game over now. I gotta find Kurojiiri, so I can get out of here. Shigaraki made his escape. Now Izuku could rest with All Might around. Izuku returned to UA with a lot of praise from his classmates. Dude, you beat a All Might level threat by yourself? That's so manly, dude. Kirishima hypes up Izuku. It was nothing, it's part of my quirk to split things up. I didn't do a flashy Detroit smash or anything like that, Izuku stuttered. To the surprise of Class 1, Aizawa had appeared at class with a combined effort of Midoriya's healing and recovery girl, healing most of Aizawa's wounds, only having some bandages. Aizawa announced the sports festival to the class, a time to show Japan's top heroes what UA students are made up, and it's good for pro heroes to scout for heroes. The timing of the event concerns some that the sports festival is happening just after an attack, but everyone seemed excited for it afterwards, especially Uraraka, who encouraged everyone to do their best at the festival, but at a scary tone. Afterwards, when Izuku, Ida, and Uraraka were hanging out during break, young Midoriya is here. The sudden appearance of All Might shocked the three. All Might, What are you doing here? Izuku wondered why All Might wanted to see him. Lunch. Young Midoriya, All Might pulled out a tiny lunchbox. He'll be back in a bit, guys, Izuku told his friends. Then All Might and Izuku moved to a more secret location. Since you are the few who know my secret, All Might then turned into his skinny form, which Izuku was surprised to see. I'm here to apologize for what I said about you on that rooftop. You truly have what it has to be a hero, especially when you fought that Nomu, All Might said. Oh, or thank you, All Might, that means a lot to me, Izuku said. But I have something more bigger to ask of you, All Might said. Izuku was interested in what All Might had to say. I want you to inherit my power. All Might said. You want me to inherit what? Izuku said, confused. Calm down, SHHH. All Might tried to silence Izuku, so his biggest secret would not be exposed. Anyway, I want you to be the successor and become the next symbol of peace. This was big for Izuku. His hero wants him to be his successor and become the hero he always wanted to be. I refuse. I'm sorry, All Might, but I found my own path to become a hero. I want to learn more about the power I just discovered, Izuku told All Might. That is very mature of you, young Midoriya. Most kids your age would jump at the opportunity with none of the responsibilities and determination to back it up, All Might said. I'll keep this secret between us and any other teachers who know about this, Izuku promised. Thank you. Young Midoriya, All Might thanked him. Hey Deku-kun, what was that about? Uraraka asked. It was nothing, it was about the USJ and thanking me for it, Izuku stuttered. Being praised by the #1 hero himself, Midoriya, you are truly an inspiration. Ida praised Izuku. Thanks Ida, Izuku thanked his friend. The sports festival is in 2 weeks, so Izuku needs to train his hardest, especially when the whole world is going to see him. Izuku was off to his regular scheduled training, determined as ever to train his hardest. You want to learn more? I'm sorry, Midoriya, but I've taught you all I can. Perhaps you can better master instant transmission, but that's all. Maybe then you could travel across the galaxy to learn more techniques, Pabara said. Wow, across the galaxy, Izuku never thought about the galaxy, although it seemed pretty obvious there would be more life out in the galaxy, as he was concentrated on Yardration techniques. Over the first week, Izuku had attained better mastery over instant transmission through his hard work. Congratulations, Midoriya, you were an incredible student, and I can't wait to see you as a hero, Pabara praised Izuku. Thank you, Pabara-sensei, for making my life better, Izuku thanked his master, and then teleported home ready to explore the galaxy. All right. See you later, Uraraka. Izuku waved goodbye to his best friend after another day at UA. Izuku came home to his mother and gets ready to explore the galaxy in his Yardrat armor. He placed his fingers on his forehead, trying to find the closest key outside Earth, or Yardrat. He was now on a planet with a pink sky and heard explosions in the distance. Izuku landed near a cliff, looking down upon what seemed to be 4 soldiers shooting up a village. You will bend to Lord Fridge rule, or you will perish. One of the soldiers said. We will never be slaves to that monster. An elderly alien said. Then you will die? The soldier charges up his weapon, but is kicked into a house by Izuku, who couldn't stand to watch these civilians die. What the? Who the hell are you? Never minded, you already signed your death wish, pal. The 3 remaining soldiers charged at Izuku, who in response cloned himself 2 times to fight them individually. Izuku's clones were easily disposing of the 3 soldiers. You saved us. Thank you. Who are you? The civilians seemed very happy that Izuku saved them, but Izuku left his guard down, and the soldier from the beginning of the fight recovered from the kick and was about to shoot Izuku in the head until a mysterious figure came out of nowhere and shot the soldier with his stun gun, which shocked everyone at the sudden appearance of the figure. Oh, thank you very much, sir. You saved my life, Izuku thanked the stranger for saving his life. No, thank you for saving this village. If it wasn't for you, this entire village would have been destroyed. The figure puts his hand out and says his name, Agent Meruz. Izuku Midoriya, it's a pleasure to meet you, Izuku thanked his again. Say, Midoriya, have you ever heard about the Galactic Patrol? Meruz asked. The Galactic Patrol? Sorry, I haven't heard of that. Wait, am I breaking some Quirk law? Worried Izuku. No, you ain't breaking any laws. I'm offering you a application to the Galactic Patrol. Meruz tries to calm down Izuku. Joining the Galactic Patrol? I'm sorry, I just want to travel around the space learning some techniques. Since I'm going to become a hero on Earth, Izuku refuses the generous job offer. So you come from Earth, huh? Well, I have an offer, Midoriya. I will train you, Meruz offered. Wow, really? Thank you so much, sir. But I only have 2 weeks Izuku, thanks Merus. Don't worry, I know a place where you can 3 days worth of training in 1 day. So you can get around 2 weeks worth of training in around 5 days, Merus says. Whoa, I didn't even know that was possible, Izuku said, writing that in his notebook. Time passed, and Izuku had finished his training with Merus and still has some time to travel around the galaxy learning some techniques. The day of the sports festival had arrived, and Izuku was more ready than he would ever be. Looking at things objectively, I'm better than you. While you have a lot in terms of technique and abilities, I have the strength over you, Todoroki tells Izuku out of nowhere when they were preparing for the festival. Huh, I don't want to be rivals, Todoroki. Izuku responds. We have to Midoriya. It's a battle of who will be the strongest person of Class 1A, and that is going to be me, Todoroki said. Why is Todoroki acting so weirdly all of a sudden? I get that the sports festival is a big thing, but we shouldn't start conflict. Maybe I can use that technique I learned to see what's wrong with him, Izuku thought. The classes from the Class 1A to the General Studies all appeared in the stadium with thousands of eyes looking down at them, and Katsuki Bakugo was chosen to speak. Oh, this isn't going to end well. All of Class 1A thought, even Aizawa. I pledge that I'll be number 1. Bakugo said without a sense of regret. Everyone in Class 1A just sighed in response. Now, let's get started right away. The first game is what you'd call a qualifier. The pro hero Midnight said. The first event was an obstacle course race with all 11 classes participating in it. The event began with Todoroki quickly freezing the competition with his quirk. Izuku, realizing he was unable to move with his legs, instant transmission to Todoroki location. Izuku also noticed Bakugo, Momo, Kirishima somehow, and Ioma also escaping Todoroki's ice. They all had arrived to see robots similar to the one in the entrance exam. But Izuku is not the same one from the entrance exam, and used a technique he learned while training with Merus. He held his hand up into the air and charged his ki, creating a disc made up of ki. Kienzan. Izuku yelled as he threw the disc into the 0-pointers, cutting the robots like butter. Todoroki had also used his ice to freeze the 0-pointer, while Bakugo used an explosion to the robot's face to destroy it. The students approached a mountainy area, which required some parkour. People with mobility quirks like Tsu Azui, for example, were at a high advantage in this area, while others had to rely either on their own speed and mobility or using their quirks in smart ways like Bakugo or Todoroki. Izuku thought of using instant transmission, but he had a better idea. He used his Kienzan again, but not as a weapon, but a ride as he jumped onto the object, riding it like a surfboard, but in the air. Izuku had arrived at the next obstacle, landmines. Izuku, still riding his Kienzan, was doing fine, but he was lacking behind Todoroki and Bakugo, who were going head-to-head. Izuku then used instant transmission to appear in front of Bakugo and Todoroki. Sorry Kaken and Todoroki-san, but I'm winning, Izuku said before delivering a roundhouse kick to Bakugo, which also caused Todoroki to lose momentum. Izuku did it. He won first place in the obstacle course. A cavalry battle? I'm bad at those, said Kaminari. It's not an individual event, so I wonder how it'll work. Wondered Tsu. Cavalry battle? Mineta said. Let me explain. The participants can form teams of 2 to 4 people as they wish. It's basically the same as a regular cavalry battle. But the one thing that's different is based on the results of the last game. Each person has been assigned a point value. The 18+ hero explained. A point-based system like the entrance exam. Huh? That's easy to understand, said Sato. In other words, each team is worth different points, depending on who's on the team. Yurarika further explained the rules to her classmates. You guys don't hold back even though I'm talking, huh? Yes, that's right. And the points assigned go up by 5 starting from the bottom, so 42nd place gets 5 points, and 41st gets 10 points. Explained Midnight, shocking everyone that Izuku got so much points. One thing Izuku didn't expect from getting first place was putting a huge target on himself, by having over 10 million points compared to second place's 205 points, and the point value assigned to first place is 10 million. Midnight said, shocking everyone that this isn't going to be good. Izuku said to himself, realizing he won't be able to get any teammates due to no one wanted to have a huge target on them. I need to do something quick, too, about the current state where everyone is totally avoiding me, thought Izuku. Hey Deku-kun, wanna team up? Yurarika went up to her best friend. Oh, Yurarika? Are you sure you want to be with the person with a 10 million bounty on his head? A worried Deku said. If you keep teleporting whole time, then you'll win, right? Uraraka said. I think you're overestimating me. Uraraka Izuku responded. Uraraka had joined Izuku's team, and they did try to convince Ida to join them as Ida wanted to challenge Izuku as a rival. Team up with me, person in first place. A pink-haired girl said, getting right in front of Izuku. Whoa, so close. Who are you? Izuku questioned. I am Mei Hatsum. From the support course, Mei introduces herself. The support course develops equipment that helps heroes deal with their quirks. Trust me, my babies could really help you guys out there. Mei promised showing of her equipment. Yeah, equipment would definitely be an advantage for us. Sure, you're in. Izuku accepted Mei's offer. Now we only need one more. Izuku thought, looking around for teammates. Hey Tokoyami, would you like to join our team? Izuku offered the Dark Shadow user, and the bird-like user accepted the green-haired boy's offer. Izuku wrapped the bandana reading 10 million on his head while Tokoyami, Uraraka, and Mei were below him. After all preparation was done, it was finally time for the cavalry battle to begin. Now let's go, yelled Present Mike, and Midnight said start. All teams began attacking and defending, mostly all going to attack Team Midoriya, one of them using their quirk to stick Midoriya's team in something resembling Quirk's sand as the team sunk. Izuku used instant transmission to get out of there. Great Midoriya. With your teleportation quirk, we should be able to stall for time. Uraraka complimented Midoriya, which made Midoriya blush. Suddenly Shoji appeared charging right at Team Midoriya, then Uraraka's foot was stuck by one of my Netta's ball, and even when Izuku teleported it still stick to her, so Izuku tried using the jetpack to try and get rid, breaking the bottom of my special boots. Now Team Midoriya was in the air and Bakugo was charging right at them. Tokoyami used Dark Shadow to protect Team Midoriya from Bakugo's blast, leaving Bakugo falling in the air. Zero tried to bring Bakugo back in, but before he could bring him in, the tape was cut by Izuku. Izuku used the Kienzan to cut off Zero's tape, trying to get Bakugo out of the competition, but they managed to catch Bakugo before he could land on the floor. Afterwards, Todoroki's team were coming towards Team Midoriya. Kaminari Electricity was making Dark Shadow weak, leaving the defense up to Midoriya. Sunlight damages Dark Shadow. Wait. I got an idea, everyone. Close your eyes and stop using Dark Shadow. Midoriya had a plan. Midoriya jumped up into the air, and Todoroki used a push from his team to get to Midoriya's level. This is the end, Midoriya. Todoroki said coldly. No, I'm sorry, Todoroki. Izuku told Shoto, which left Shoto confused as Izuku closed his eyes and put his hands by each side of his head. Teoken. Suddenly, a massive light covered all the sports festival, blinding everyone there, excluding Team Midoriya. OWMYEYSS was a shared thought to thousands of people, giving Midoriya's team time to escape. Midoriya could have taken Todoroki's points, but instead, what was that? Midoriya, you blinded everyone here, Uraraka said in shock. It's the Teoken. It's something you use with the power of the sun to blind people, but it takes a lot out of me, Izuku explained. By the time Todoroki's team recovered, the event was over and Team Midoriya came in first place. Yes, we did it. Uraraka and Mei both celebrated in unison, while Tokoyami congratulated Midoriya. Good job, Midoriya. We all did well, Tokoyami complimented. Thanks. Izuku was thankful for the compliment. Midoriya, can we speak in private? Shoto Todoroki asked. Afterwards, Midoriya and Todoroki spoke in hallway. Why did you want to talk to me? Midoriya asked Shoto. I was outsmarted and outplayed, but most importantly overpowered by you, causing me to dare use my fire. Say, Midoriya, have you ever heard of quirk marriages? Todoroki asked. I know what you went through, Todoroki. Izuku said bluntly, shocking Shoto. What? Explain. Shoto demanded. I wanted to know why you were so serious about this, Todoroki, and while you were blinded I sorta read your mind. It's part of my sprit fission quirk, and from what I saw. I'm sorry what you went through, Todoroki, with your parents, but it doesn't defy who you are as a person. You aren't Endeavor Jr., you are Shoto Todoroki, someone I would like to call my friend. Izuku admitted to Todoroki, and left, leaving Todoroki dumbfounded and questioning himself and his pledge. Izuku. Midoriya, just who are you? Final event. 1-on-1 fighting tournament. The final event was a tournament where participants competed against one another in one-on-one battles. The matchups were decided by lottery, but for some reason Masahiro Ojiro and Nairinjiki Shota had resigned despite getting in the finals. Izuku walked up to Ojiro. Ojiro, why did you resign? Izuku asked. It doesn't feel earned, Ojiro responded. But it was clearly earned. You got enough points and helped defend your team, Izuku said back. It's that purple-haired guy from General Studies. He went up to me, and after speaking to me, I blanked out, and then it was the end of the cavalry battle, Ojiro explained. Izuku was starting to wonder what exactly Shinso's quirk is before he fights him, or else the fight would be one-sided in Shinso's favor. The first match was Midoriya versus Shinso, which was going to be interesting and a bit terrifying not knowing the mystery of your quirk. The two students walked onto the ring. Shinso starts to talk. So you were wondering about my quirk, huh? Shinso asked. I am Izuku said. Gotcha was the words Shinso said before activating his quirk on Izuku. Izuku starts shacking and twitching. What is this? Izuku struggled to move or say anything. That's weird. Normally it insanely controls people, but you are different for some reason. Anyway, walk out of the ring, Shinso demands. Izuku flared his Ki to try and overcome the mind control, shocking everyone. Adrio was shocked to see that someone resisted Shinso's quirk while he instantly was controlled. Izuku's legs moved towards the end of the ring. Could this really be the end? In such a random way? Think, Izuku thought before coming up with an idea. Izuku cloned himself into 3, which shocked Shinso. Since Shinso's mind control had a limit, he couldn't do all 3 of the clones. The 3 clones attacked and tackled Shinso out of the ring. You're pretty good, Shinso. Hope you can make it into the hero course with your awesome quirk, Izuku said, putting a hand out for Shinso to grab. Shinso only smiled and grabbed his hand. Shoto Todoroki versus Hantashiro. Shoto walks out of his waiting room and thinks about Izuku's speech to him, Izuku's fight against Shinso, and questions his oath to himself to never use his fire. You are acting disgracefully, Shoto, by not using your fire in the first and second events of the sports festival, and could have crushed that green-haired boy easily, Endeavor scolds. I won't need your fire. I will only fight with my fire, Shoto states. When the fight began with Hanta opening with a swift tape attack and wraps it around Todoroki, trying to eliminate him by ring out, but Shoto apologizes to Shiro and then uses his feet to freeze the ground, which finds its way to Hanta, creating a burst that shakes the entire arena as his traps Hanta in a massive giant wave of ice. Shoto Todoroki is the winner. Denki Kaminari versus Ibara Shiozaki. Denki charges his electricity and uses his indiscriminate shock 1.3 million volts technique, with Ibara simply uses her hair to create a shield to defend against the volts, and Kaminari overused his quirk, making it easy for Ibara to eliminate him by ring out. Ibara Shiozaki is the winner. Tenya Ida versus Mei Hatsum. While this may seem like an easy fight for Ida, but that would be underestimating Mei's inventions, who are able to dodge Ida, and Mei shows off her inventions to the public while doing this through a mic. These include her hydraulic bracers, auto balancers, electromagnetic saws, and capture gun. Mei eventually forfeits by leaving the ring after showing off all of her inventions. Although Ida won technically, it was embarrassment for Ida to become a human guinea pig for Mei. Yuga Aoyama versus Mina Ishido. Yuga repeatedly fires his beam, but Mina is able to dodge him swiftly, but over time Aoyama's stomach begins to hurt after overusage, and Mina capitalizes on it, throwing acid on his belt and finishing the match with an uppercut. Mina Ishido wins. Fumikage Tokoyami versus Momo Yaoyorozu. Toko calls out Dark Shadow immediately to attack Momo, but Momo creates a shield that stops Dark Shadow, but Dark Shadow circles back around and strikes her shield before she can focus on a counter and knocks her shield off of her arm. Momo creates another shield and pole to do an offensive, but it isn't attacking as Momo hadn't realized she was knocked out of bounds. Fumikage is the winner. Eijiro Kirishima versus Tetsu. As expected, when you put 2 people with basically the same quirks against each other and it ends with a tie, and it would be decided who won after in an arm wrestle. Katsuki Bakugo versus Achiko Uraraka. Uraraka immediately rushes at Bakugo, who is forced to counter with an explosion, which Uraraka dodges due to knowing his fighting pattern, but is still damaged by the splash damage by the explosions and is blown back. But Uraraka continuously is on the offensive even if she is getting damaged constantly. In a brilliant move, it turns out Ochako kept low to the ground, so Katsuki's explosions would destroy the floor of the stage, so she would then be able to use them as projectiles against Bakugo, as she releases a meteor shower upon Bakugo, but he is able to counter with his explosions. Unfortunately for the brunette, she was at her limit, but Bakugo commends her for her skill, but she still wouldn't give up, without a fight crawling to fight Bakugo, till she went unconscious. Katsuki Bakugo, is the winner. Eijiro Kirishima vs Tetsu Round 2. Eijiro and Tetsu arm wrestle to decide the winner, with Tetsutisu's metal arm breaking and Kirishima winning the match. Izuku is waiting outside in the waiting room for Uraraka's recover, feeling deep care towards his friend, but knowing that he has to fight Todoroki. But on his way, he encounters a certain flaming hero, a face Izuku is all familiar with from his hero journals and reading of Shoto's memories. Endeavor. It's my son's duty to surpass all might to become the number one hero, and his match with you will prove it. Don't hold back against Shoto, as it will be the trigger for Shoto to unleash his true power, Endeavor tells Izuku. Why you treat your son like that? You brought so much pain to your family for the sake of an worthy heir with a perfect quirk to be the next number one hero, and what I saw from reading his mind, especially with you in it, Izuku admits to Endeavor, who is shocked by his extensive knowledge of what happened. How and what right do you get to know about it? Endeavor had a sudden charge and attitude towards Izuku. When I blinded everyone in the previous event, I wanted to know what was up with Todoroki and used my spirit control quirk to read his mind, and I saw a lot of what he was going through, and I want to save Todoroki and be friends, Izuku told, and left Endeavor to get ready for his battle with Todoroki. Thanks for waiting, everybody. Present Mike thanked the audience. In this corner is the man who won a huge victory in the first round and literally left the audience frozen, Shoto Todoroki. Present Mike introduced the white red-haired colored boy Shoto Todoroki. On the other hand, this guy Barley made it past the first round against the purple-haired kid, Izuku Midoriya. Present Mike introduced the freckled boy. In the sports festival, both of these students have shown top-class performances. Now start. Present Mike started the match. Shoto made the first move, creating a wave at ice to attack Izuku, who dodged it with his instant transmission, but Shoto kept Izuku on his toes, trying to drain Izuku of his power source, thinking he will be on the defense. When he tried the same attack, Izuku summoned the Kienzan that cut through the ice, nearly hitting Todoroki in the process, who jumped out of the way, but then Izuku appeared in the air, using teleportation, and gut-punched Todoroki and thrown him back into the ring, and he stood back up to fight Izuku. When Izuku levitated back down, he saw Todoroki's ice finally taking a strain on Shoto. You are overusing your quirk, Todoroki. You need to realize you can't beat me without using your other side, and I know how you wanted to pledge yourself to never use it, but what if there is a situation where you need to use it? Is your pledge going to get in the way of saving innocent lives? Izuku told. Shut up. I'm never going to use my old man's quirk, Todoroki told Izuku as he unleashed a bigger wave of ice, which Izuku blasted away with a large ki blast. You're trembling, Todoroki. Everyone is giving their all in this tournament while you are still at half of your power, so come at me with everything you've got, Todoroki, Izuku shouted. Did my old man bribe you to do this? Todoroki said while running in for an attack which any experienced fighter like Izuku and Bakugo could tell were predictable. Izuku dodged his punch and grabbed his arm, and tossing him onto the ground, creating a crater with all the force Izuku put into it. Todoroki got back up and covered the ring in ice to get an advantage, pushing Izuku into the ice, making half of Izuku's P uniform rip on the spiked ice. Izuku cloned himself into 6 surrounding Todoroki, and with their incredible coordination are able to put in some good hits in before Todoroki used his ice to blow away all the Izuku clones, all disappearing as they return to the original Izuku. Why are you going this far? Todoroki questioned. Because I want to live up to expectations and show that your old man has nothing to do with this fight, were the words Izuku said as he gut punches Todoroki, sending him back more. Right now, I think you should stop screwing around. Izuku yells out. Todoroki has a flashback to his father's abuse and his mother's care of him. It's your power, Todoroki, not his, Izuku yells, which was the final trigger for Todoroki. Flames erupted from Todoroki, coming as a shock to everyone. Izuku smiled. I want to be a hero too. Todoroki announces to Midoriya with the biggest grin Midoriya had ever seen from the white and red-haired boy. Izuku lets out a smirk. It's about time, Todoroki, now I can show off some new moves, Oswell, Izuku said as he flared his aura and goes into a loose Maba stance. Meanwhile in space, Meruz watched his student show an incredible display of heroism on a GodTube livestream and was glad that all of his training with him paid off. Agent Meruz, are you ready? The ship is getting close to Planet Soup, fellow Galactic Patrol Officer Jocko asked. Yes. Coming Merus turned off his GodTube TV to go on another mission. Endeavor let out a smile from the crowd. Have you finally accepted yourself? With my blood, you will surpass me. He shouts. Don't blame me for what happens next, Midoriya, Todoroki says. Hee. I should say the same thing for you, Todoroki. Now come at me with your full power, Izuku said. Todoroki sends large waves of ice and fire at the same time towards Izuku. Izuku flew right into the wave of ice, surfing off the ice and performing a new technique. Izuku put his hands in a ball-shaped. A blue ball of energy appeared in Izuku's hands. The ball of energy got bigger. For a second, Izuku had a silver glow in his eyes as Izuku able to dodge all of Todoroki's attacks midair while charging his technique. Izuku was getting closer to Todoroki's location, trying to land the hit head-on while Todoroki sent a wave of fire to Midoriya, which seemed undodgeable. Samintas and Midnight tried to stop the battle with their quirks, fearing that they will finish off each other. Midoriya, thank you, Todoroki thought before finally sending all he had at Izuku. With the silver glow in his eyes, he able to barely dodge the flames. Izuku lets out a powerful blue beam out of his hands, completely destroying the entire ring and hitting Todoroki head-on, sending Todoroki out of the arena and into the walls, and a large fog covered the entire sports festival arena. What happened? Asked Yaoyorozu alongside the others from Class A and B from the stands. The fog disappeared, revealed Todoroki against a heavily damaged wall, with Izuku standing in the heavily damaged ring, patting off any fire that got on his heavily damaged uniform. Izuku, Midoriya is the winner present, Mike screamed. Izuku fell to his knees, panting with steam coming out of his body. Is the steam from Todoroki's fire, or was it something else? Wondered Izuku. Izuku jumped out of the ring to see if Todoroki is all right. That Kamehameha must have knocked him unconscious, Izuku thought, going to him and using his healing technique he learned on Yardrat on the ice and fire user. Did I lose? Todoroki asked. Technically yes, but overcoming your trauma and becoming a better hero afterward? I would call this a win for you, Izuku smiled as he reached out his hand for Shoto to grab. Shoto smiled and grabbed his hand to get up. Tenya Ida versus Ibra Shiozaki. The battle starts with Ibra attacking from afar using her vines to attack Ida, but he had already activated Recipro Burst, running behind Ibra, and then grabs her shoulders and swiftly runs towards the edge and pushes her out of bounds. Tenya Ida wins. Fumikage Tokoyami versus Mina Ashido. The battle starts with Tokoyami activating Dark Shadow to attack Mina, and she tries to counter with her acid, but Dark Shadow is easily able to dodge her acid and easily eliminating her. Fumikage Tokoyami wins. Katsuki Bakugo versus Ijiro Kirishima. The battle starts and both participants immediately start using their quirks and trade blows, but Kirishima is able to tank Bakugo's explosions, even being able to cut Bakugo cheek and forces Bakugo onto the defensive, but has managed to finally damage Kirishima, explaining how Kirishima has been pushing his quirk to its limits by using it the entire match and starts going on the offensive, knowing Kirishima's defense will break at any moment. He unleashes a barrage of explosions, putting a lot more strain on his quirk until Bakugo finds the perfect timing and eliminates Kirishima. Katsuki Bakugo is the winner. Midoriya Ida calls out to Midoriya exiting the changing rooms after getting a brand new PE uniform after his previous one was tattered and broken from his battle with Todoroki. Oh hey Ida, you did great in your battle with Ibra, Midoriya complimented. Thank you. Hopefully I will show it in our match that Todoroki and Bakugo aren't the only ones you should be looking out for, Ida says. Midoriya smirks. He'll be looking forward to it, and I bet your brother is going to be proud of you. Unfortunately, I am unable to contact my brother since he is busy with hero work, but it might be better if I can tell my brother that I won in person. Ida smiles thinking about it. Did you have any trouble keeping up with my battle against Todoroki? Midoriya asked. No. Ida asked, confused. Then we should have a good battle, Izuku smirked. Sometime later, both Izuku, Midoriya, and Tenya Ida stand on opposite sides of the ring, both waiting in anticipation to start the battle. Start. Midnight signaled. Both Ida and Midoriya quickly turned into blurs as they started their battle. Ida went in for a kick, but Izuku was able to guard himself from the attack, but Ida used his engines to put more pressure onto Izuku's arm, forcing Izuku near the edge of the ring. Izuku realized he might be in trouble So he used instant transmission to teleport away, nearly making Ida fall out too, but is able to drift away from the end of the ring towards the middle of the ring. Izuku reappeared out of instant transmission to seemingly clone himself into 7 clones, all surrounding Ida. How are those clones moving so fast? And are see-through like a ghost? Kaminari questioned from the stands. It doesn't seem to be his cloning ability, it must be something new. Uraraka responded. Ida went to attack one of the clones, but it disappeared. Ida was then punched in the face by one of the clones. Ida searched for what would be the real Izuku, but they seemed to be very fast. Mei Hatsum was one of the spectators of the match, and with her quirk vision allowed her to see the proper Izuku. Clever tactic. Midoriya has their Ida, needs to find the true Midoriya unless he wants to be continuously bullied by Green's copies. Mei explained to the rest of 1A. Ida then activated Recipro Burst to hit all the Izukus in the circle, which succeed, destroying all the clones alongside, delivering a good kick to Izuku's face, sending him near the end of the ring. Izuku rubbed stains off his face and formed a smirk on his face. I gotta give it to you, Ida. You have exceeded my expectations. Should have expected that from the brother of Ingenium, Izuku complimented. But here's the problem. You are fast on the ground, but not in the air, Izuku said before jumping into the air and releasing a large barrage of ki blast onto the ring, keeping Ida on his toes until there wasn't much left of the arena, forcing Ida into the sky. Bakugo examined the battle of Deku versus Four Eyes and figured out his plan to put Ida in a vulnerable state and eliminate him. When Ida looked up, he noticed Izuku's disappearance and then heard Cannonball. Then Izuku appeared out of nowhere, flying down with intense velocity, planting his feet deep into Ida's gut, sending him flying out of the arena. Izuku Midoriya is the winner. Present Mike congratulates. Izuku walks to Ida to see if he is okay. You alright, Ida? Asked a worried Izuku. Thank you, Midoriya, but I gotta call my brother about something, Ida replies. Izuku looks worried and a bit sad that Ida thinks he let his family down. Katsuki Bakugo versus Fumikage Tokoyami. Tokoyami begins with attempting to attack Bakugo with Dark Shadow, but Bakugo counters with an explosions and forces them back with a barrage of explosions. Due to the light Bakugo produces, Tokoyami is unable to go on the offensive. Bakugo propels himself using his quirk to fly towards Tokoyami and attacks Dark Shadow with an explosion mid-air. Tokoyami realizes Bakugo is trying to wear him down with his explosions and counterattacks with Dark Shadow, but Bakugo responds with his stun grenade attack, which weakens Dark Shadow, and therefore Tokoyami's defense. Bakugo tackles Tokoyami and grabs his beak, holding it in a steady explosion in his hand to produce enough light to keep Dark Shadow weakened. Tokoyami eventually surrenders, and Katsuki Bakugo is the victor. So the next battle is another fatted battle between rivals? Mina asked Midoriya, reminding Izuku about their first fight. I guess I will have to fight Kaken again, huh? He has improved a lot since the last time we fought, and it's gonna be as tough as Todoroki, if not harder, Izuku said, with a sweat falling down his face. Izuku Midoriya versus Katsuki Bakugo. The two rivals stood on opposite sides of the ring in an intense stare down, both knowing that this won't be easy and it would need everything they have ever been learned to win this battle. Let the match begin, present Mike announced. Start. Midnight yelled. Surprisingly, they remained in the same spot, continuing the stare down, waiting for the first person to make a move, with the entire stadium almost silent, waiting for the first sign of real combat. Bakugo made the first move, propelling himself into the air to land a blow on Izuku, but Izuku dodged it and gripped Katsuki's arm before delivering multiple kicks to Katsuki's face before Katsuki broke free with an explosion, sending both of them back. Katsuki let out a barrage of explosions from his hands, and Izuku responded with a barrage of ki blast, which both countered each other, which both stopped after overexerting themselves. You're amazing as always, Kaken, but I'll be taking this fight. Midoriya breathed heavily. Hee, you're delusional. As always, if you think your quirk that magically appeared out of nowhere can beat me, Bakugo shouted back, also breathing heavily. Izuku smirked as they both charged at each other and exchanged plows before both delivering punches to each other's face, sending a shockwave around the ring. Whoa, this fight is intense. At this point they are going to end up finishing each other, Kaminari said in amazement. While Bakugo is equal to Midoriya in fighting IQ, but Midoriya far surpasses Bakugo in his arsenal of techniques, so this is a pretty interesting fight, Momo analyzed. Yeah, but why doesn't Midoriya do his blinding thing and then knock out Bakugo with his Kamehame thing? Mina asked while imitating the move Midoriya used on Todoroki. I don't know exactly, but it might be because this fight is very personal to them. Ever since the Quirk exams, Midoriya and Bakugo have had something against each other, and from what I heard they both came from the same school, and Bakugo called Izuku a quirkless loser, so maybe Bakugo bullied Midoriya, and this is Midoriya proving himself to Bakugo that can be a Hero Momo guest. So this fight isn't just for the sports festival #1, but it's Midoriya proving himself? That's so manly. Kirishima smiled bright at the manliness he was looking at. Midoriya gained some distance between himself and Bakugo, who charged right back in at Midoriya, who then threw a key blast on the floor, creating a fog which stops Bakugo, having no idea where Midoriya is, and his wonders are asked when Midoriya comes out of nowhere to kick Bakugo in the gut, nearly knocking Bakugo out of the ring, but he recovers using his explosions to push him back on the ring, barely avoiding elimination. It's gonna take a lot more to beat me, Deku. You were always pathetic using cheap tricks like those ever since you were a little kid. Bakugo insults Izuku. Kaken, since the age of 4, I wanted to be friends like before I was falsely diagnosed quirkless, and you have pushed me away ever since. I never wanted to be rivals or try and look down on you, Midoriya explains to Bakugo, but now I want us to grow stronger together and push each other to our limits. Izuku screams. Bakugo goes silent. If you want us to be rivals, then go all out. Why aren't you going all out with your fancy tricks you used on glasses and icy hot? Bakugo responded. Izuku stays silent until he smirks. Well, if you insist, but it's gonna hurt a lot. Izuku then bent down on ready to attack. Izuku charges at Bakugo, who tries to block it, but fails with Izuku elbowing him, sending Bakugo back. Then he attacks Bakugo with a powerful barrage of kicks and punches, ending with a heavy punch to Bakugo's stomach, causing vital fluid to spit of his mouth. Mineta from the seats grabbed his stomach. Did anyone else feel the... Yes, everyone from the Class 1A stand said in unison. Bakugo steps back, stunned by the pain he had felt, falling to his knees. Still not down. Oh God. Bakugo said before puking out more vital fluid. I'll take anything you throw at me, said the obviously not taking the pain, while Bakugo as he falls onto the ground. Hey, that was a great fight. Sorry for hurting, but to be fair you did ask for it, Izuku said, and reached out a hand. Frenemies? Izuku asked with a happy smile on his face. Bakugo smirked, and to the surprise of Izuku, Bakugo threw an explosion into Izuku's chest, sending Izuku back and feeling an incredible pain in his chest. Ah, Izuku silently screeched in pain. Hee, you let your guard down, and I saw an opening. Haha, pathetic. Deku, said Bakugo, getting back up off his knees. Oh, okay, my bad for letting my guard down. Izuku apologies. Guess I'll have to put all my energy into my last attack to win, Izuku thinks. Okay, I'll give you everything I have. Izuku yells before jumping high into the air for everyone to see. Hey, what's he doing up there? Oh, you think he's gonna blind him like he did to everyone in the cavalry battle? Kaminari asked. Izuku charges his technique. That's not how that ability works. With that technique, he is gonna blow the whole stadium up if he points it down like that, said a shocked Yaoyorozu. So you finally used that ability you used against Icy Hot, huh? And you're going to bring this entire stadium down with it? Deku, you really are a coward, Bakugo mocks. Hey, Midoriya knew I can't die here. I just paid for my only hero's subscription, Mineta yells from the stands, but Izuku was too busy charging up his technique to hear. Izuku then puts 2 fingers on his forehead and disappears from Bakugo and everyone there. Said a shocked Bakugo, but the more shocking thing was that Deku was right in front of him. Oh, mother. Bakugo said before being interrupted by Izuku lets out a mighty yell as a blue ball of energy came out of his hands to hit Bakugo head-on, causing a bright light to blind everyone from the battle. The bright light and showing Bakugo out of bounds, very injured by the warp Kamehameha being, and would be carried away to Recovery Girl afterwards. Katsuki Bakugo is out of bounds. Izuku Midoriya is the winner of this year's sports festival. Present Mike yells, introducing the world to the new sports festival winner, with the crowd going wild from Midoriya's victory. I won. Izuku lets out an exciting yell before collapsing to the floor out of exhaustion, happy that he won. The sports festival was over and Izuku Midoriya is the victor in first place, with Bakugo Katsuki taking second place, although he refused to take the silver medal, saying that second place means you lost even more than the others. He had to be restrained during the reward ceremony for obvious reasons, and Tenya Ida in third place. UA students were giving 2 days rest before classes started up again, which gave some time for everyone to relax after the tournament. Now they are going back to regularly scheduled lessons. Izuku instant transmissions over to Ida in the morning, and something felt off about him. "Hey Ida, are you alright?" asked a concerned Izuku. "I am fine, Midoriya. What are you worried about?" asked Ida. "Are you alright? I know you wanted to make your brother proud by winning," Izuku asked. "No, I'm not embarrassed at all. Of course it would have been nice to have won, but my brother was proud anyway," Ida responded. "Welcome back, class," says a fully healed Aizawa, no longer being covered with bandages head to toe. "Your homeroom class will be on Hero Informatics." All of Class 1A started to panic, believing they may have had a test. "Today you will finally pick your code names." Then the class's panic was replaced with excitement to pick hero identities. This is due to the Pro Hero Draft picks, judged from your performance from the sports festival. Aizawa then shows a graph of how many pro heroes offered a student to be taught under them. The graph shows Izuku, Midoriya, Shoto Todoroki, and Katsuki Bakugo in the thousands of invites, while others were only in the hundreds or 2-digit. They would all take turns in front of the class to show off their hero name. "Here I go," says Ioma, ready to present his hero name. "Shining Hero. I cannot stop twinkling." "Which means you cannot stop my sparkles." Ioma proudly shows his hero name, leaving his fellow students confused. "Then I'll go next." Mina excitedly ran to the front of the class. "Hero name, Alien Queen. I think Ridley Scott is gonna sue somebody," Kaminari jokingly says. "I've had this in mind since I was in elementary school." Rainy Season Hero. Froppitsu says, confident in her choice. "Then he'll go to Sturdy Hero, Red Riot." Kirishima introduces his hero name. Jiro lightly puts the board on the stand. "Hearing Hero, Earphone Jack." Shoji went up speaking with his hand. "Tentacle Hero, Tentacle." Siro raised his hand. "Taping Hero, Cellophane." Ojiro raised his tail up for everyone to see. "Martial Arts Hero, Tailman." "Sweets Hero," Sugarman Sato said. "Pinky," Mina said loudly, raising her hand due to having to change her hero name. Kaminari went up next. "Stun Gun Hero, Charge Bolt," combining charge with lightning bolt. "Stealth Hero, Invisible Girl," Hagakure said, a plain but simple name. "I hope I don't bring shame to this name." "Everything Hero," Kriati Yayarosa said. To the surprise of everyone, Shoto Todoroki, one of the strongest people in the entire class, went with his own name, Shoto. Tokoyami was up next. "Jet Black Hero, Tsukuyomi." Mineta was up next, but you wouldn't be able to see him because of his height. "Fresh Picked Hero, Grape Juice," Mineta said with only his hands visible. Koji Koda shyly went to the front of the class, clearly having stage fright, not saying a word, only putting up a sign saying "Petting Hero, Anima." King Explosion Murder Bakugo said in an angry tone, trying to sound tough. "I'm gonna say that's a little too violent," Midnight says. "Huh, what do you mean?" says an angry Bakugo. "What about Explosion Boy?" Kirishima asked. "Shut up, weird hair," Bakugo responded. Uraraka was up next. "This is what I thought of, Uravity. I just love that." Midnight praises. Ida was next, but was silent. Izuku confirmed to himself something is definitely wrong with Ida. "You're using your first name too?" Midnight asked Ida. Izuku was next. He was thinking of something like Keyman, Yardrat. Those just don't work for him, but he thought of something more personal to him. Izuku walked to the front of the class. "This is my hero name." Deku Izuku stands proud. While that name might have started off as an insult, his friends and the people who now care for him made it not an insult, but an inspiration, meaning you can do it. Uraraka blushed at the name, realizing it was her who inspired Deku to use it. Thank God for everyone paying attention to the board, or Mina would have a field day messing with her. Next was Bakugo, who supposedly came up with a better name. It went as you expected. Lord Explosion Murder Bakugo went full-on gremlin. "That's not any better than the last one," Midnight said. Later on at lunch, everyone was discussing hero names and what agency they picked. Mineta picked MT Lady. You can guess why, and Azui called him out for his perverted intentions. "Hey Dekukuin, have you signed up to an agency yet?" Uraraka asked her friend. "I don't know. I don't think any pro hero would help improve my quirk. Maybe I should do some deeper research," Izuku replies. "Oh yeah, your quirk is definitely a very special one. I already picked Gunhead's agency," Uraraka compliments and tells her best friend. After school, they both notice Ida's sudden disappearance, who seemed to have went home early. Uraraka, I think Ida is hiding something. He has been acting like this since the World Tournament since he came back from that phone call, Izuku explained. Yeah, when I think about it, he has been acting differently since the beginning of today, Uraraka responded. I bet it's to do something with his brother Ingenium. I heard from the news that he lost against this guy called the Hero Killer Stain, Izuku added. Poor Ida, he must be going through a hard time, Uraraka said in a sad tone. Yeah, I hope he is doing well, Izuku said. After they both parted ways and Izuku was walking home from UA, he heard a strange voice in his head. Hello, can you hear me? Said a voice in Izuku's head. Who is this? Says a confused Izuku, not understanding where the voice is coming from. Oh, you can hear me. I'm King Kai, God of North Galaxy. King Kai introduces himself. G-God, I'm Izuku Midoriya. It's an honor to meet you, sir. Izuku tried to be polite as possible towards literal God. Hey, relax, just relax. I want to help you with your hero thing after seeing your performance at that tournament, King Kai explained. Yes, sir. Izuku began searching for King Kai's key and found it there. He then vanished and reappeared on a small green planet. Izuku then collapsed to the floor and tried to get back up. What is this place? Said a struggling Izuku. This is my planet. It used to be a lot bigger because someone was a sore loser about a video game, and it's 10x the gravity of what you have on Earth. King Kai states, still angry 400 years after that purple cat blew it up. 10 times. This shocked Izuku, who is barely able to stand. Yeah, you will get used to it. King Kai shrugged Izuku's pain off. So am I going to be the agency I train under? I don't know how I'm going to say I'm training with God. Izuku questions. Take this. King Kai gives Izuku a piece of paper. It would do pretty well disguising who I am. The paper talked about how King Kai was actually an old unknown hero who took interest in Izuku. Are you sure this would work? I'm pretty sure UA would have a pretty good record on all heroes. Izuku questions. Of course it would work. I'm God, King Kai replies. Huh, thanks King Kai. I'm looking forward to learning from you. Izuku waved as he teleported back to Earth finally in some normal gravity. Izuku is definitely going to go through some hard training at King Kai's. The next day, when Izuku traveled to King Kai's planet once again to get more training. Midoriya, welcome. I guess you're here for your first day of training, huh? King Kai asked. Yes, sir, I managed to convince them you were a former pro hero, Izuku said, while trying to stand in 10x Earth's gravity. Good. Now your first lesson will be. Izuku waited in anticipation for King Kai's first lesson. Chase my monkey bubbles around my planet, King Kai said. Huh, why? Izuku questioned. It will help you adjust to 10x gravity. Can't exactly be teaching you anything while you're sweating lakes while I teach you something. And also don't try using any of your yardration techniques, King Kai explained. Huh, that actually makes sense. Okay, King Kai, I'm ready. Izuku said. There was a moment of silence with a stare-off between Izuku and Bubbles. Start. King Kai shouted. Izuku tried chasing Bubbles, but due to Izuku's inexperience in 10x gravity, he lagged behind Bubbles, who was simply hopping around easily, avoiding Izuku's attempts to catch him. Many hours later, and Izuku was slowly but eventually getting used to walking in 10x gravity, but was still failing to catch up. To Bubbles. I gotcha. Izuku leaped to catch Bubbles, who jumped out of the way, causing Izuku to smash his face against a tree. OW. The headbutt causes a crack in the tree. Damn it, at this point it will take weeks to get him. I keep going in circles and circles. That's it. Izuku stopped right in his tracks. King Kai smiled, remembering one of his old students who thought of same thing. Izuku then started running in the opposite direction, which Bubbles was caught by surprise, who also started running in the opposite direction. Hee, Izuku chuckled at his genius. Sometimes Izuku fears his own genius. Izuku then turned around again and hid behind the tree, waiting for Bubbles to come across. When Bubbles went past the tree, Izuku jumped Bubbles and catched him. Yeah, I caught the monkey. Izuku screamed out in joy as he jumped up high into the air with no effort. If he has already adjusted to 10x Earth's gravity, he could even master the Kaioken technique, King Kai thought. Now, King Kai, can I begin my training? Izuku asked. Since you have proven yourself to be my student, you can now truly begin your training, King Kai states, with Izuku letting out an exhausted smile. Some time had passed since Izuku started training under King Kai, going through intense training and learning a few new techniques along the way. Izuku was holding a blue ball of energy in his hands while King Kai creates a block in the red sky. Heya! Izuku throws the blue ball of energy at the block, destroying it completely. It seems you have already got a good grasp of techniques, Midoriya. Not in 130 years has someone adapted this quickly. King Kai compliments. Thanks, King Kai. By the way, can you see how my friends are doing? Izuku asked. Well, let's see your one of your blue-haired friends is fighting this red sword guy, King Kai said. Ida. No, he's fighting the hero killer to avenge his brother, and he is going to get himself killed. Izuku said in an angry tone. Ida needs my help. Izuku said, putting 2 fingers on his head. No, wait. But before King Kai could protest, Izuku was already gone. Revenge just to satisfy one's selfish desires is the furthest thing from what a hero should be, and that's why false heroes like you should die, the hero killer states. No. You hurt my brother, and you must pay. Ida screams, but unable to move due to Stain's quirk. Just as Stain was about to unalive Tenya, Izuku arrives delivering a roundhouse kick to Stain's gut, sending him into a trash can. Get out of here, Ida. Izuku's voice was commanding and full of anger, something Ida thought he would never see from someone like himself. I can't, it's the hero killer's quirk, I can't move, and it's not your battle to fight Midoriya. Ida responds. The essence of being a hero is meddling where they don't have to. Remember those words from All Might? Midoriya responds. If it isn't the winner of the sports festival, Izuku Midoriya, was it? I'm sorry, kid, but it's my duty to take care of false heroes like him. And if you get in his way, you will meet his fate, Stain says, coming out of the trash. I have to admit you are a different breed of villain that we fought at the USJ, I'll give you that. But I won't let you hurt any of my friends anymore. Izuku says before getting out his phone and send out his location information. Izuku believes that one mistake and Izuku could end up like a sitting duck to be killed alongside Ida, so he sends out his location just in case of failing. Izuku charges in delivering a punch to Stain's face, which the speed catches Stain off guard, but regains his composure and attempts to stab Izuku with his sword, but Izuku dodges at the nick of time, scratching Izuku's Yardration armor, forcing him to retreat backwards. Stain starts taking it seriously, going on the defensive, giving Izuku trouble, trying to keep up with him, barely dodging his blade strikes. What's wrong, hero? Having trouble keeping up? I'll spare your life due to your heroism, but only if you promise to let me finish that fake hero, Stain remarks. I'll never let any of my friends die to the likes of you. Izuku responded. Well, any last words? Stain said while reaching out his sword towards Izuku. Izuku charged up with his gray aura, turning red alongside all of his body. Yeah, Kaioken. Izuku screams before throwing a strong gust of wind onto Stain, who barely dodges slash. Ko-wa. Stain said before being Izuku landed repeated punches to Stain's face and finishing it off with a kick to the ground, sending Stain into a brick wall. Izuku starts to breathe harder after that Kaioken. If only he had more time to learn to have less strain over Kaioken. Midoriya, a familiar voice in the distance, says, I got your message. It was Todoroki, who came to help Izuku and Tenya. Todoroki, it's good to see you. Get Ida out of here now, I got this, Izuku tells. Are you so confident in yourself that you can take on the hero killer by yourself? Todoroki questions. I'm not sure if I can keep up in a long battle, so call for the pro heroes, Izuku asked Shoto. Alright, got I. Izuku sensed Stain coming towards them and tackled Todoroki out of the way. Run. Todoroki obliges, carrying Ida on his back. Impressive attack there, young hero, but unfortunately for you, you won't get that chance ever again. Stain says. Izuku at this moment realized how much damage Stain had taken from his Kaioken and had an idea. So your quirk works by vital fluid, right? Well, that can work for both of us, Izuku said with a smirk, activating his quirk, and Stain is at shock when he sees the bloodstains of his blade levitate off and into a ball of energy. Force spirit fission. It allows me to take things from people who have absorbed or stolen something, and unfortunately for you, that's how your quirk works, doesn't it? Izuku says with a smirk. The ball then spreads, returning to their original owners. This includes Ida, who can now move. Your quirk is very impressive, but I won't give up easily. Stain charged at Izuku with a blade. Izuku was again englued in a red aura, teleporting behind Stain, and when Stain was about to fall to the ground, Izuku appeared to kick him back up into the air. This is gonna hurt. Kaioken X3. The red aura doubled in size as Izuku began charging his attack. Ka. Me. Ha. Me. Izuku let out his signature attack, totally engulfing Stain and destroying the alleyway the battle was in. Izuku pants hard while he sees Stain unconscious. Galactic Donuts. A yellow circle came from Izuku's fingertips and was wrapped around Stain's unconscious body to constrain him just in case he wakes up. Izuku barely has enough energy to teleport right now. Heck, even a pat on the back would be painful for him right now. So he grabs the unconscious hero killer and teleports to the most familiar key he could find. Midoriya, you're back, said Ida enthusiastically, mostly healed from the force spirit fission. Yeah, I'm fine. Might need a trip to recovery girl though. Ow. Said an exhausted Izuku. By the way, what do I do with Stain? Said Izuku as he plopped Stain onto the floor, shocking both Shoto and Ida that he defeated the hero killer. Midoriya, you beat the hero killer? Ida said, shocked. Yeah, I used this new technique called the Kaioken to double my power, but at the drawback and ripping my body apart from overusage, said Izuku, still in pain, clenching his heart. They went to the pro-hero endeavor alongside other pro-heroes to find someone who can imprison Stain, who was currently fighting some Nomas. Nomas? I can help. Izuku reminded everyone from what he did in the USJ, and that he can help defuse the Nomas. Midoriya, you are in no condition to fight right now, Todoroki says. Izuku. King Kai says with telepathy. Oh hey King Kai. I beat the hero killer, Izuku said, looking up at the sky. Who are you speaking to? Ida asked, confused. Hold on. Talking to God, Izuku responded, which only confused them more. At least you saved your friends from that hero killer guy. I swear I always pick the guy who wants to fight everyone to be my student. Also, I notice you are pretty worn down from that fight. And you need to fight those other creatures. There is a place above the clouds that has an item that can recover you to 100% immediately, King Kai tells Izuku. Really? Hey Ida, take care of Stain for me, Izuku said before placing 2 fingers on his head to find a key placed above the clouds and found the signature, and right before his friend's eyes he instant transmissions. Izuku appears in a place above the clouds with one small pillar keeping the entire building up alongside a giant red pole going even higher. Whoa, this place is insane. Izuku, awed at the building, it looks down at the extreme height he was. Hey, who are you? Izuku looked behind to see a talking white cat. Oh, sir, I heard you had instant healing beans from King Kai, Izuku asked. King Kai, huh? This must be urgent, and judging by the look on your body and your drained ki, Korin examined Izuku's current state. This was none other than Korin, the farmer of the famous Senza beans. Korin walks up to a tube and lifts the lid off, revealing tons of green beans, which Izuku identifies as the beans King Kai wanted him to get. Here. Korin throws a senzu at Izuku, which he catches. Eat it, and your injuries will be gone. Izuku eats the senzu and feels a rush of energy in his body. Whoa. This is amazing, thanks, I owe you one, Izuku says before teleporting back to the battlefield. Midoriya, you're back? And you're fully healed? Ida noticed the lack of injuries on Izuku's body. Yep, long story short, I'm all better. Now let's deal with these Nomas. Izuku smirked as his aura fared, going from gray to red. Izuku flew towards the Noma's location, with them only seeing a red blur. Izuku hits a flying Nomus off guard, and a second after the Nomu is destroyed by Izuku's spirit fission, and Izuku flies at high speed towards the rest of the Nomus, destroying them with his Yardrat technique. Izuku lands on the ground and turns around to give his friends a thumbs up. Katsuki Bakugo was mad. Well, his default emotion was mad, but this was something else. For first, he got that stupid hairstyle from his internship from Best Jeanist. And he learned that Deku got a new technique that allows him to double and triple in power and beat the hero killer. The guy that took down multiple pro-heroes. Why does that stupid Deku get all these quirks pulled out of nowhere? Is he some sort of shonen protagonist or something? Bakugo thought. Wait, Deku's hero costume looks like that blue guy from the sludge villain incident. He must have gotten a quirk from that guy or something. Bakugo had an epiphany. Hey, I got an idea. A smirk appeared on Bakugo's face. The internships were over for Class 1A and have returned to regularly scheduled classes, with Izuku showing off the Kaioken technique to everyone during hero training, which made everyone realize how outclassed they are compared to people like Izuku or even Todoroki, giving them more determination to grow stronger with their own quirks. In the locker room, when everyone was changed and out, except Bakugo, who walks up to Izuku. Oh, hi Kaken, what do you need? Izuku questions, shocked that Bakugo would willingly walk up to him. I know about you and that blue guy, Bakugo says bluntly. Huh. Izuku was clearly shocked. What are you talking about, Kaken? Izuku fails horribly at trying to defend himself. So that's how you suddenly got a quirk? Huh, Bakugo realizes. Yeah, but isn't actually a quirk, it's a bunch of techniques I learned, Izuku confesses. Huh. How Bakugo demands answers. I will explain it after school, okay? Everyone is waiting for us, Izuku tells his childhood friend. After school, Bakugo and Midoriya stood by the gates of UA ready to discuss how Izuku got his quirk. It all started after the sludge villain incident when I was walking back home after being scolded by the pro heroes that Blue Man teleported in front of me and asked if I wanted to train under him as a thank you for saving him, Izuku monologued. I know this sounds hard to believe, but he brought me to his home planet where he taught me his planet species techniques and powers. That's where the whole clones, gigantification, and teleportation came from, and I've been learning new techniques and powers ever since. But technically, I'm still quirkless, Izuku explained, not trying to sound crazy. Bakugo tried to hold it, but failed. Ha 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 ha, like I would believe that DKU. Aliens? That's something raccoon eyes would make up. Haha, Bakugo laughs before noticing the serious face on Deku. Oh, you're serious? Bakugo's laughter forms into one of shock. Yeah, I've been training across the galaxy with different teachers since after the USJ incident, even with the Galactic Patrol, who are basically space heroes, and police, Izuku explained. So that explains how you have been pulling all of those abilities out of your butt, Bakugo says. Now bring me to them, Bakugo demanded. Huh, what? Izuku was caught off guard from what his childhood friend said. I said bring me to your masters. I don't want to fall behind because you get special treatment from some aliens or some trash, and if you don't, I'll tell everybody, Bakugo says mockingly. What? Well, if you asked for it, then fine, I'll take you to Yardrat. Izuku places 2 fingers on his head and uses his other hand to offer Bakugo his hand, which Bakugo just grabs onto his shoulder. The 2 reappear in front on Yardrat, which Bakugo is blown away by being on a different planet and also not immediately suffocating. Midoriya, it's nice to see you again, and you seem to have brought a friend, Izuku's master Pabara said, walking up to Bakugo. Yeah, and I'm here to train and get that precious teleportation technique that Deku has, Bakugo demanded from Pabara. Wait, Kakin. Do you think it would be suspicious for you to learn a techniques very similar to mine when we are hero training? Izuku said, worried. Relax, Deku, I'm only gonna learn about that stupid teleporting technique of yours so I can travel easily, Bakugo said, walking to Pabara. So you're the guy who teach Deku over there? Well, teach me it too, Bakugo said confidently. Pabara examined the blonde very well, but first we have to deal with that temper of yours in order to start you spirit control training, Pabara said. Temper? Bakugo said in shock. Enjoy your stay on Yardrat, Kakin. They'll tell your mom you're having a sleepover, Izuku said smirkly before placing 2 fingers on his head. Deku, don't you dare. Before Bakugo could touch Izuku, he was gone. Since when did he have this much guts? Shota tells his class they will be going to a forest lodge during the summer break. However, Shota warns his students that if any of them fail to pass the end-of-term test, then they will be left behind. Bakugo continued his spirit control training on Yardrat, trying to calm himself. Meanwhile, Midoriya was thinking of something else. Izuku went to the support course to find Mei Hatsum. I wonder where she is. Izuku was cut off with an explosion, and when Izuku opened his eyes, Mei was on top of him. MMA. Izuku blushed in embarrassment. Oh hey Midoriya, what you doing here? Gonna look at my new babies? Mei asked. Well, I was asking if you were done with that gravity room thing. Midoriya asked. Oh yeah. Come along. Izuku proceeded to follow Mei to a desk with a capsule in it. Wait, is this capsule corporation technology? I thought they banned it here because it was used a lot in villain attacks. Izuku said in awe. Well, not to you, Mei said before popping the capsule onto the ground, making a loud poof sound before showing a white ship in the shape of sphere. Mei gives a tour of gravity room. With this baby, you can go up over 100x Earth's gravity. Mei says, 100x? Thanks, Mei, for everything, Izuku says, very thankful. No problem, Green. Maybe you can pay it back sometime with something else. Mei winks, what makes Izuku blush at what Mei was going to make him pay it back, and Mei puts chamber into the capsule again to give to Izuku. When Izuku got the time, he goes to the Takoba Municipal Beach Park to place it. Over the night, Izuku trains under 20x Earth's gravity, packing some senza beans just in case, and the following days he went to 30x, 40x, 50x, and so on until the end of the week, as he reaches 100x Earth gravity, which also helps him push to higher levels of Kaioken. He can now use Kaioken X2-4 with little strain, X10 with some strain, and X20 as a last resort, as it would tear apart his body and energy very quickly. Man, I wonder what Kakin is doing right now? Wonders Izuku. Meanwhile, on an unknown planet, Bakugo throws an explosion, but it's caught by a long green arm, which negates the explosion. You have to try better than that, boy, said a green man. While Bakugo was doing his own training across the universe, he discovered a green planet called Namek inhabited by Namekians who proved to be very strong for him. The Namek proceeds to grab Bakugo by the face and bring him towards him before delivering a punch to the face, sending Bakugo into a crater. Damn it, Bakugo said weakly. You still have much to learn, young one, but in time you prove yourself to be a great warrior. We will call it quits for today, where you can sleep in one of our villages, the warrior Namekian said. Thanks, Bakugo's time with the Yardratians has definitely helped him and his anger issues. Bakugo and the warrior Namekian head to the village where they meet the Elder Mori. If it isn't cargo and the human, we have prepared a room for you, Elder Mori says. Thanks, old man, Bakugo says in a bored tone. Wait, what is that in the sky? One Namekian farmer in the sky said. Large ship appeared in the sky and landed with foot soldiers in white armor flooding out and getting in line waiting for their leader to come out. And he does dressed in yellow and purple with an orange scarf and purple helmet. The leader appears. Lord Slug the Almighty has returned. The Slugman yelled, stunning the Namekians there as the leader takes off his helmet to reveal that he is another Namekian. Lord Slug? Who the hell is he? Bakugo said, confused. A long time ago a Namekian child was born, but he was born of pure evil, wanting Namek to be an empire, but he was banished long ago. Now he has returned to take over Namek, said Elder Mori. So he is villain, eh? Well, I'll give him a beating he will never forget. Bakugo said, ready to take him on. Wait. If you go there right now you will definitely die, but I have a gift for you, Elder Mori then placed his hand on Bakugo's head, and then a sudden burst of energy came within Bakugo. Elder Mori has unleashed Bakugo's hidden potential. Your potential has been unleashed. Right now you have been given a 7x boost in your power, but in time your power will boost up to 40x, Elder Mori states. Such power. I feel like I can do anything right now. Slug, here I come. Bakugo then dashed into the battlefield where the Namekian Defense Force was taking care of Slug's army pretty easily. Meanwhile, Izuku was trying to find Bakugo, going to different planets to find out where he is. Damn it, where could he be? Izuku wondered. Hey Midoriya, I can help you, a voice in Midoriya's head said. King Kai? Thanks for the help. Where is he? Midoriya wondered. He is north of your location of the planet New Namek, fighting an evil Namekian known as Lord Slug. King Kai states. Wait, what happened to old Namek? Izuku asked. Long story, King Kai said, remembering the fierce battle on Namek, which caused its destruction. Anyway, you need to get there quick as your friend doesn't have the power alone to beat him. King Kai tells Izuku to hurry. Alright. Izuku says, placing 2 fingers on his head, trying to lock onto Bakugo's location. Back on Namek, the warrior Namekians had finally dealt with Slug's army, and now it was time for Slug to get his hands dirty. You are pathetic excuses for a Namekian. Now I'll show you what a Namekian should meet. Slug powered up to his maximum, which scared everyone there. I don't care how hard you can scream, I'm gonna plant my fist deep into your face, which will make looking at your face a lot more better for everyone here. Bakugo insults. Why, you little? Slug rages, attacking Bakugo, who barely has time to dodge. He is fast. Bakugo then throws an explosion at Slug's face, causing him to groan in pain. As the fight went on, Bakugo's power continued to grow over the battle due to the potential boost from Elder Mori, but it still wasn't enough to defeat Slug. I've had enough of you, stupid human, Slug said before charging up and firing a large beam from his mouth coming towards the defenseless Bakugo, but he was saved by a red blur. Bakugo opens his eyes to see stupid Deku. What the hell are you doing here? Says the weakened Bakugo. Saw you were in danger, and what hero would I be to not help? Izuku questions. Deku stood face to face with Slug. So you're Lord Slug, I've heard of your before, and the path of destruction you leave sparing no one. Not even children. Izuku says with clear anger. Oh please, I've heard it all, and you won't definitely be the last to say it. Slug says egotistically. Your reign of terror ends here, Izuku says as he strikes a fighting pose. So, this was the end of part 1 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.